Class 10, Lesson 6, stanza 2 and 3. I must go down to the seas again. The poet repeated the same portion, same line. I must go down to the seas again. The poet will have to go to the seas again. The poet is bound to go to the seas again. The poet cannot resist the irresistible desire of going to the sea again. Because for the call of the running tide, the huge tide, the huge sound of the running tide is calling the poet, is beckoning the poet to come to the seas again and again. It is a wild call. Wild means irresistible, that cannot be checked. Wild means excited. It is a frantic call to the poet. It is a wild call. The poet cannot deny the call. And it is a clear call. It is a distinct call to the poet. So it is a wild call and a clear call that cannot be denied. Denied means refused or ignored. The poet cannot deny the call of the running tide. The poet must have to go to respond to the call of the running tide. And all I ask is a windy day. The poet asks for a day which is full of wind, with strong wind. The strong wind will blow, a windy day with white clouds flying. And at the same time, the white patches of cloud will fly. The white patches of cloud will fly on the background of the clear blue sky. So the poet wants to enjoy the beauty of nature, the clear blue sky, and in the background, the white patches of cloud will float. Thus, imagine the scene. There is vastless sea. The poet is in the vast sea. And at the same time, when the poet looks up, the poet sees the clear blue sky with the patches of cloud. And the flung spray. Flung means sprayed in all direction. The present form of flung is fling, F-L-I-N-G. And the flung spray. Spray means small drops of water, droplets. When the ship will move and there will be strong wind, the small drops of water will spread in all direction. They will float in all direction. They will fly in all direction. And the blown spume means white bubbles. Bangla bole phena, foam. And the blown spume, the foam that will be created because of the friction of the ship and the water of the sea, because of a strong wind. The white bubbles also will fly in all direction. So blown means driven by the wind. The white bubbles will be driven by the wind and they will fly in all direction. And the seagulls crying. Seagull, it is a seabird, and the shout of the seagulls. So the poet wants to enjoy all these beautiful things of nature. Now come to stanza 3. Starts with I must go down to the seas again. The poet will have to go to the seas again. And the poet wants to enjoy to the vagrant gypsy life. The poet wants to have a life. It is the desire of the poet that he wants to have this type of life. The vagrant. Vagrant means wandering from place to place, to move from place to place, having no fixed destination, does not know where he would go. Gypsy means nomad, N-O-M-A-D, Jajabor Bangla bole, gypsy life. Gypsy life means the people, a group of people, they have not their house, they have not their permanent shelter. They move to a particular place, stay there for some days, and after then again go to another place. This is called a gypsy life. The poet wants to enjoy such a life which is vagrant, which is gypsy, and this is an adventurous life. To the girl's way, where does the poet want to go? To the girl's way. To the girl's way, girls mean seagulls. The way the seagulls move. To the girl's way and the whale's way. The whales move from one sea to another sea. The poet also wants to move from one sea to another sea. So the poet wants to follow the movement of the girl, the movement of the whale, because they are free. They have no fixed destination. They can move as they wish. The poet wants to move like the seagull, like the whale. So the poet wants to go to the girl's way and the whale's way, where the wind is like a whetted knife, where the wind is very powerful, the wind is very cold, the very strong, and it is as sharp as a sharpened knife. This is a very perilous journey. The poet wants to make the journey to a very remote sea, to the interior sea. It is a perilous journey, and the poet wants to enjoy this adventure. And after the end of the journey, when there will be the end of the journey, at the end of the journey, in the last line, the poet say, when the long trek is over, trek means journey. When the long trek is over, long, the poet gives emphasis to the word long. It is not a short journey. It is a long journey. It will continue for months. And when the long journey will be over, after the long journey is over, the poet wants three things. First, all I ask is a merry yearn. Yearn means tale. The poet wants to enjoy a merry tale. Merry means joyful, full of joy, joyous song, joyous tale. And a merry yearn, a joyful tale, a joyous tale from a laughing fellow rover. Rover means mariner. Rover means sailor. From a sailor. He wants to listen to a tale from a sailor. Which sailor? His accompanying sailor, fellow sailor, the sailor who will be in the same ship with him. This is called fellow, accompanying and laughing. It suggests the positive approach of the sailor. The poet wants to listen to the positive story, the joyful story from the sailor's life. He does not want to listen to the sad tale or tale which is full of sorrows, full of sadness. He is not interested at all to listen to this tale. So he wants to enjoy the joyful tale from a sailor who is in the same ship with him when the journey is over. And a quiet sleep. Quiet means calm, peaceful, undisturbed. And after the end of the journey, he wants to take some rest. And it will be a rest which is full of calmness, which is full of peace, which is totally undisturbed, and a sweet dream. And even at the time of enjoying the rest, the poet will enjoy the dream. It will be the dream of the journey that he has already completed, and it is also a positive dream. It is a dream which is full of joy. It is a dream which is full of joyful experiences. So the poet wants to recharge his body and mind, and wants to make himself ready to go to the seas again. And after a few days, it is sure that the poet will go to the sea again, because the sea will call the poet. All the objects of sea, they will call the poet, and the poet is bound to respond to their call. This is the poem of lesson. This is the poem Sea Fever by John Masefield, and it's a very nice poem, I think.